Jim Quattrone, candidate for sheriff, joins us in studio. Jim, thanks for being here. We wanted to take a look at some of the questions submitted by our viewers during New and Noteworthy today at noon. Tabitha writes into us. She asks what you're going to do to help with all of the missing people in cold cases going on in Chautauqua County.
I know, with the various different cold cases, missing people cases, the officers, investigators that have worked on that have worked hard, and sometimes frustrated with that. I know in other areas they have implemented programs where they would bring in retired investigators that could look over the cases with a fresh set of eyes. And I think that's been pretty effective in various areas. And I know I've been approached by a number of retired investigators who would be interested in assisting with that. And something we could partner them with current investigators to look into those, but again with a fresh set of eyes. Sometimes that change of looking at something is very important.
And that certainly seems like a good idea because the former retired investigators know, I'm sure, a lot about the case then. And then if there's new information brought up, certainly that would help as well. But with cold cases, it is difficult because of the time length. Although today there's a lot of new technology in law enforcement as well, right?
Right, and it's with the ability to go back and look at cases. With the new technologies that are out there, we have the ability to process different pieces of evidence maybe weren't able to be processed back whenever the crimes happened.
Tabitha also wanted to know about the violence in Jamestown, and specifically as the top law enforcement head, if elected to sheriff, how you would try to quell that. Obviously, Jamestown Police has jurisdiction here, but the county is still somewhat, I suppose, responsible for ensuring public safety.
Sure. And I believe so often we see violence that's surrounded by the drug trade and the drug trafficking and drug use. It's important, as I mentioned earlier, that we cooperate with other agencies in things such as the Drug Task Force. We currently have 2 drug task forces in this county, and we need to start working together for the effectiveness and efficiency, but primarily for the safety of not only our public and our citizens, but our officers that are out there doing the drug enforcement. And I believe as we start to work together with that common goal of safety and security in the county-wide, then we're going to be better able to combat that. We really need to get a grasp on this drug trade and the drug epidemic, and get away from the 50-plus years we've been fighting this war on drugs, and we need to be smarter in that war versus always tougher. But that's working together.
And certainly, I mean, you've been doing that fight for a long time. I know we have this graphic up on the screen from your website. When was that taken?
I believe that was either the late 80s or early 90s. It was in front of the old Maple School. And yes, we all look much younger and thinner. And but that DARE program is just a touch on that because there's a controversy. Was it effective? Was it did it work? And a lot of times it's what you measure. And I still have DARE students coming up to me that are grown with their own children that remember the DARE program. And I believe sometimes it's just the relationships that we were able to build at those programs. And that's been great over the years, having the opportunity to be in the schools, to meeting young people, again, before they're having a crisis, before they have something going on, that we can actually have them realize that we're people, and that they can approach us when needed.
And we of course, talked about that on our noon broadcast, New and Noteworthy, which if anyone's interested in, they can go on our Facebook page and YouTube and check that out. Final question for me today is, there's current Sheriff Joe Gerasi has done a lot, in implementing EMT programs and running the Sheriff's Department for many years. I guess, what do you want the community to know about you that is different than Joe, and why should they vote Quattrone?
Well, we have to, again, be willing to work together with other agencies, focus on our communities and what is needed around our communities. Not John Wooden, the UCLA basketball coach, says it's amazing how much work can get accomplished when nobody cares who gets the credit. And we have to be willing to work with agencies to solve the crime problems, the drug epidemic, and get out into our communities and knowing what is going on out there.
Awesome. Jim Quattrone, thank you.
Thank you.